Pearl preaches the main. My name is Pearl. So I'm here with Barrister Simeon Oyelade. Barrister Simeon, did I pronounce that name properly? Yeah. Yeah, so today he's going to be telling us about real estate, things we need to know before getting a property in Canada. So you guys are going to let me know if you enjoy this whole interview. Yes, so we are on. So, hi, Barrister Simeon. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Simeon Oyelade. I am a lawyer in Toronto and I practice in the area of real estate, family law, immigration, and some other areas of law.
Okay.
I've been doing this for about 21 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm still here.
That's so nice. How have you been able to sustain your practice in Canada?
Yeah, sustaining practice in Canada is relatively simple. When we started, there were only very few of us that were foreign lawyers. So at that time, it was easy to just set up your practice without doing any advertisement, because people will find out, oh, there's a new lawyer out there, and then they will come out to you. So at that time, there were just relatively very few people that were lawyers. I remember Kingsley, Oyenubi, and some other guys downtown. So there were very few people, and serving a great big communities like Nigeria and other African countries. So, but over time, there's been an influx of foreign trained lawyer, particularly Nigerian trained lawyer, that even on the street that I'm currently on, Finch Avenue, within this short block, you can count more than 100 lawyers.
Wow.
I mean, in this day and age, so it's a little bit difficult. For me, I didn't want to practice as a sole practitioner. I went to law school here. I wasn't a lawyer from back home in Nigeria, so I went to McGill University just to study law. So my intention was, because I was working for a government office before I went to law school, so my intention was to go back to that government office to work. But in those days, there used to be a lot of discrimination for non-white lawyers. Even though it's still happening, but at least it's less than when we first started then. So I tried to get back to where I was working before I went to law school. It was not possible. I spoke to my manager. It was a little bit tough. So after articling, which was also very difficult to find in those days. So after articling, I was forced to start my practice. I wasn't, couch for business. I like working for government, for office, that's been right. But because there was no such opportunities, I had to start the practice. But one of my friends, I remember him very well, Amana, was like, Simeon, you better go and start something. Nobody's going to hire you and all that. So we started, and then initially it was tough. It was really tough. So because at that time nobody know you. I remember renting a small office from one lawyer, and then the very first time I was sitting in the office, my phone is not ringing.
Wow.
And I have all these bills to pay, piling up. Sometimes I will take my phone and I hope the phone is not spoiled already. The phone is still working. The phone is still working.
That must have been a very challenging time.
It was very, very challenging.
Oh my God.
It was very challenging. So, but over time, people get to know you, and then people start referring maybe some other lawyers. Maybe they're too busy. They say, oh, can you handle this file? So they send it to us, and then another problem with practice generally is, even though you might know the law, knowing the law is completely different from practicing law. Completely different. So you might get all the good marks and all that. I know what the law says about this, but how do you practice it? How do you bring your documents to court? How do you prepare your document? If you don't know that, and that's what many of us are having problem with. Even up to now, there's still a number of lawyers, foreign trained lawyers, who don't have guidance, and it's very, very difficult. Things that you can do within 30 minutes, but because you don't know how to do it, it takes you longer period. I'm sorry to waste your time. I actually want to give a specific example of what happened to me when I started. So I started doing every area of anything that comes. I do. You bring rent tribunal, I go because I don't want to pay my bill. You bring real estate. So I was learning things along the line. So one guy, my first criminal case, so came to my office and said, "Oh, can you represent me?" I said, "Yeah, I can represent." I didn't know what to do. I can represent you. So they came to my office. Sometimes they will be sitting in my office and I'll be thinking, "Oh God, this guy is going to jail, man."
Please, because
I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. And then people would call him. They say, "Oh, I'm in my lawyer's office." I'm like, "Your lawyer's office?"
Oh my God!
So some few days before the time we had to go to court, I started attending the court to see what they do there. Not that I don't know criminal law.
Yeah.
That's what I say about practice compared to law. So I would go and sit down in the court and I was listening to what they were saying. Some of the time I don't even know what they were saying because they would say, "Oh, we have JPT." What is in my head I would be thinking what JPT was say. So that was my first criminal case. Unfortunately, I won that case. Just by a stroke of luck. So it was challenging, especially to learn how to do law when you don't have people to call. This day and age, the new lawyers are so lucky because they have lots and lots of lawyers that they can call if they have any issues. So that was the first challenge when we started practice. There were majority of the lawyers that were practicing were only doing immigration. So if you are practicing the area of civil litigation, family, there's nobody to call. You understand? So, but over time, you do something, you make mistake. Next time, you don't make that mistake, and then so that's how you become a better lawyer. So it's been challenging, but it's been very rewarding as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay. One of my problems that I have, which I hope other people will not have, is I don't shout about myself. I don't make too much noise about myself. I don't do advertisement. But I see that newcomers into the practice, they're very good with the arrival of the internet, and so they're putting themselves out there. So for you to be successful, we now live in a very competitive market. A lot of us that have been around for so long, depending on your goal, even if you don't do a lot of marketing and all that, they already know your name out there.
Yeah.
So people will refer somebody to you. But to really get big, you really need to put yourself out there on the YouTube, on Instagram, advertisement in Nigerian newspapers, community newspapers, and all that. So that's been the story thus far. It's been okay.
Oh, great. So, do you know anything about immigration law?
Yes.
You do? We're going to come to that later. But for today, we're going to be talking about real estate.
Okay.
So I would like to know, like, what are some of the things that a new home buyer should be aware of before entering into an agreement?
Okay. I would start by saying that one of the best investments, not only in Canada, but in the world, is real estate. So if you're able to get into real estate, is one of the best way to really to have value. For those who have been around for so long, a lot of us, like the way we are trained, especially in Nigeria, is that, don't get into debt, don't, but there is no way, unlike Nigeria, there's no way you can buy property here without getting into debt. You have to get a mortgage. Unless you really come from a very big home or you got into some big money. So majority, like 99% of people that buy house in Canada, they use loan to get mortgage. So one of the way to prepare yourself to to buy a house is to have good credit if you don't have a lot of money. So if you don't have the money to buy cash down, which most people don't have, is first of all to work on your credit ratings. Okay. Everything in Canada, as you know, is about, do you have good credit? Yeah. Even if you have the money, you have the down payment, but you don't have credit, it's going to become a problem when you start to apply for mortgage. The second thing to be aware of is to have a sustainable job. A job that can pay your mortgage. So if you are doing a part-time job that you're not too sure that is going to be, that you're going to be able to work in for so long, that maybe after 3 months, after 1 year, they might ask you to go. It's not a good time to consider buying a house, especially if you want to get a mortgage. So you must get a sustainable job. And a lot of things that the thing that the bank is going to look into, or the lenders will look into, they will say, what is your income? And what the type of debts that you have. A lot of us have a lot of debt, credit card debt, car debt, and all that. So they want to weigh, if we give you this mortgage, are you able to pay when the time comes?
Yeah.
And then one other thing that helps people, those who are starting out, is to have a good down payment. But unfortunately, people starting out, most of them, they don't have good down payment. In those days, I remember the government would let you put 5% down.
Okay.
And banks are allowed to lend you 95% of your mortgage. So 5%, and houses were not this expensive in those days. So you need to put 5% down. I'm not sure if that is possible these days, that you just put 5% down. So majority of the lenders will be asking for like 20%. And then, so if you have it 20%, you can almost be guaranteed that you get a mortgage. And then one other thing to also look at, a lot of people see people that have been in the market for so long, living in big houses. Some of those houses, when they bought it, they were sold for like 400,000, 500 in those days. And they say, oh yeah, because I went to that guy's house, I want to also buy a big house. Don't start with a big house if you don't have the means to pay your mortgage, because after you pay the mortgage for about 4, 5, 6 months, you might run dry and the bank is going to process. It's a very stressful thing to go through the inability to pay a mortgage. So you can start small.
Yeah.
Condos are out there. Condos are actually not bad ideas, especially if you don't have too large family. I remember when I bought my first condo, I bought it for $142,000.
Oh wow.
And there were even people that got into that condo at $132,000. So at the time I sold it close to $500,000. So that's the first point I made, that is always, real estate is a good investment. Yeah, it might be very stressful now. You are paying mortgage. And I want to distinguish. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to buy a house. I'd rather be paying rent. If you don't have the capacity to buy a house, don't buy. But if you have the capacity to buy a house, buy.
Okay.
So I always say that if you are renting and you are paying mortgage, you are paying rent, it's like you put money in the toilet and flushing it away. So let's say you are paying $2,500 as rent. It's money that you put in the toilet. When you flush, it only allows you a roof on your head. But if you have a house, so let's say you are even paying $3,000 as mortgage.
Yeah.
Majority of the loan that you get from the bank, part of the money you pay, goes towards the principal of the amount that you borrow, and part goes to interest. So, which means as you are paying every month, your principal on your property is reducing, the principal amount is reducing. And at the same time, the value of your property, especially when the market was good, market is a little bit, but the market will pick up. It doesn't matter what. So the value of your property is also increasing. Meanwhile, the money you are holding on it is also going down as you are paying your mortgage. So you are getting values from two places, from the increase in the value of your property and also the decrease in your principal. So that's what we call equity. So that by the time you now decide to sell that property, you will make back most of the money that you pay into your mortgage and also from your equity. So that's why I said, but if you are a renter, this is not to discourage people renting. This is not to castigate people renting. If you are renting, it's money that you can never get back.
Okay.
If you buy a house, some of those money you will recoup from your principal going down and value being added to your property. So to get ready for a house, you need to look into few things. Do I have the job to sustain my mortgage payment?
Yeah.
Do I have a job that a bank is going to consider as enough for them to give you the amount of money you're looking for. And then also you should look to having a good down payment. If you have a good down payment, then that will reduce the amount of money you're going to be paying monthly. Yeah. A lot of people will get into the problem of getting mortgage from private lenders. That's one of the pit that you don't want to fall into as a first buyer. Because some people are not qualified to